Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Very warm welcome to this Saudi Society for Medical Education webinar. I'm Dr. Shazia Iqbal, Chairperson for Continuing Professional Development Activities at Saudi Society for Medical Education Riyadh office. And I'm really very much excited for this session today. And I can see quite good number of participants with us. Thank you so much for joining. And today's very exciting topic, which is about blended learning in health professional education. And we are very much honored to have our distinguished speaker, Husnain Baloch. Welcome, Dr. Husnain, for this session. And blended learning, why it is important. You know that landscape of medical education is constantly evolving, and it is crucial for us as health professionals to adapt to changing needs of our students and healthcare industry. Blended learning is a powerful tool that seamlessly integrates traditional learning methods with modern technology, enabling us to revolutionize the way we educate and train the healthcare workforce. And this webinar is very important for us to know that how we can use these technology tools, especially we are very much excited about role of artificial intelligence and upcoming emerging technologies to blend our learning modules, how it can create a flexible learning environment, online 100% modules. So today we will learn from experience of Mr. Hussain, and let me introduce about our speaker. Husnain Ahmed Baloch, Husnain Zafar Baloch is a module coordinator for e-learning in health professional education in postgraduate certificates. He holds masters in science computers from University Sans Malaya, Malaysia, as a senior manager and e-learning with International Medical University. He is leading e-learning team and he's responsible for developing instructional design. He's graphic designer, multimedia designer, learning management system, portal management, and lot more aspects of online developing modules. He has more than 20-year experience, which is hand-on experience with implementing e-learning and technology-enhanced learning in higher education. In 2013, he was ranked #1 in the world and #3 in Malaysia on the top e-learning movers and shakers. And we are really lucky to catch him today to share his experiences, to guide us that how we can enhance the development of our e-learning blended modules in our own learning management system. So thank you so much for joining, especially this time is really awkward that in Riyadh it's 8 p.m., in UK it's 5 p.m., and by your end it is midnight 12. And we really appreciate your courage to take this time and come up for Saudi Society for Medical Education. And thank you so much for all participants. Questions will be taken by end of this webinar, and this webinar will be recorded, and recording will be shared with you by end of this session. So over to you, Husnain Zafar.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Shazia, and thanks, first of all, to Saudi Society for Medical Education. Actually, Saudi Arabia is very close to my heart. I grew up there, my childhood, and now I'm remembering like it's Ramadan. Like whole night we used to wake up, play football, and so let's move on. Topic is very interesting, and it's blended learning, right? So looking at this slide, I have some blend, like text and image, okay? So feel free to use chat on my right screen. I'm always looking at my chat. If you could not hear or could not understand anything, let me know. I will repeat. We will have about 50 minutes, so just bear with me. I will cover as much as possible. Let's move on and share. Code blue was situation when COVID-19 struck us, okay? I have actually transition, so that's why code blue. So blended learning was there to rescue us. So those institutions who were very familiar with blended learning, it took them just few days and they switched their teaching and learning mode to completely online. So this is what I would like to highlight, So moving on today's webinar, I will try to introduce the terms we use, blended learning. Now in Malaysia, they are coming up with substitute blended learning, SBL, and touch a bit on MOOCs, micro-credentials, and ODL, and what is their difference between. At the later part of my talk, I will be sharing some of the applications. By using these applications, you could develop some kind of content, for asynchronous and synchronous, activities. And at the end, we will have 10 minutes dedicated for question and answer. But meantime, just type in the chat, okay? Moving on, let's do a bit engagement, and I would like to know, what do you think when it comes blended learning in your mind? Just scan this QR code or type in slido.com, and that's the code 3677627, and type in few words. Hopefully it's accessible. Oh yes, Zoom. Wow. Okay, yes. Zoom was uh, a savior, I would say. Yes, which include both online. Yeah, I could see in the chat also. Dr. Shamshad, she said which includes both online and offline. Yes, you're right. Online and face-to-face learning. Yes. How about others? Blackboard learning. Yes. LMS. Yeah. Combination of multiple things. Yeah. So I can give you a few more seconds and then I will move on. Okay. Someone is still typing, so I can give some extra time. Yes, we are all right. Yeah, e-learning. Yeah, part of blended learning, e-learning is part of that. Okay, yeah, hybrid, virtual plus in person, combined of traditional and online learning. Yes, very good. All are correct. Well done. If you are on face-to-face workshop or webinar, I normally distribute chocolates or tamar. So just well done. Okay, mix of both offline and online. Yeah, flexibility. Very good. That's very important feature when we are talking about hybrid classrooms or hybrid learning. There must be flexibility. Yes, now it's very active. So thanks for taking part in this poll. So let's move on. I think everybody is on the same page. Personalized learning, yes. Sometime yes, but you need to spend time in profiling. I will be sharing one framework uh, by my guru in ODL called Prof. Rozan. He have actually invented that framework. Very helpful when you're talking about personalized learning and when we are actually implementing blended learning. Okay, let's move on. This is the word cloud I got from internet. So you could see that technology is there, online is there, books, gamification, skills, flipped, paths, learning paths, and many more, like mix of face-to-face and informal classroom. But key ingredient would be how we could seamlessly integrate all these different types of learning modes. So if we successfully integrate, then students will have fun, and they enjoy all different types of learning, which we just now mentioned. So just very basic definition, like when we are talking about blend, even when we were on campus before COVID struck, we are already, practicing blend of learning, like face-to-face learning, certain things we upload on Blackboard, someone just now mentioned, or learning management systems, and we ask students to go access, and e-learning, distance learning, mobile learning, flexible learning, open learning. So there are many terms. So how we could nicely blend. And in one of the work conference, I changed topic of this, how to find correct blend. Later on, I will highlight how this will assist us. Now, just go back to in history, how we get the emergence of online learning over the time and when we started blended learning. So if I will just move on, everybody knows Khan Academy, open educational resources. There are a lot of open and distance universities. Back home in Pakistan, we have university like Allama Iqbal Open University. They used to send by post. So this is how things, and a lot of other open universities, they were using these mode, of delivering media, and like by post. Even some of the universities, they were having television channels and they transmit their education material using that. So in 2014 onwards, we started this. On top, you could see like flipped classroom and blended learning. And now we are moving in even blended courses and degrees, and even introduced MOOCs, massive open online courses. Now trend is moving towards more micro credentials, short degrees or nano degrees. So that's where how we could blend in our program by having all these different types of degrees or courses. So that is one aspect of blend. So let's move on. This is what we were discussing, and my first poll question was almost same. We have face to face on extreme left, then we have computer aided or computer assisted classrooms where we have some kind of programs which will assist us in delivering our content. And then we have mixed mode, part of our course can be delivered face to face fully, and part of our course or content can be delivered using online. And this is where when we use electronic devices, we are in e-learning area. And then fully online, for sure, you need e-learning. And when we have mixed mode, classroom and online, we started distance learning. And overall, across all this, an extreme right one, which I was telling you, like some of the open universities, they still practice sending printed materials by post to people living in a remote areas. They don't have even internet. They don't have even ICT or electronics. Uh, they will just have like this kind of audio tapes even, or some kind of printed materials, or even using video conferencing the way we are doing now. Okay. So now here in Malaysia, this is a slide I borrowed from UPM, University of Putra, Malaysia. They have successfully implemented like a guideline given by our accreditation agency, Malaysian called MQA, qualification agency, which actually accreditates each and every programs we have. So here we start with portion of content delivered online is actually 0%. Then we move on web facilitated. So less than 30%, if you are having web-based or application-based facilitated, you are still doing face-to-face, And then more than 30%, then they start coining in this term. And this may vary from country to country, okay? So this is in Malaysia. Anything more than 30%, we are moving into blended learning. And anything moving more than 79%, that we label that as even ODL, or moving towards hybrid, and then ODL, or open and distance learning, okay, or fully online. Okay, so this is how you can, now it's all up to you in your available resources, your infrastructure, you can adjust this ratio. Okay, now just to touch a bit, I don't know how many of you have heard this term, substitute blended learning. Yes, no?
Not really.
Okay, so in Malaysia, 2020, yeah, during COVID, this term's very popular. And now for government universities, okay, so no, let me explain to you. It's a simple concept. It's just when we are using substitute blended learning, so it's not going to replace our online activities, okay, or face-to-face activities. It's just giving us a substitute or additional material or resources or activities for students to use that and cover up. So nowadays in Malaysia, they are forcing like our Ministry of Education actually putting this guideline for government institutions to move to include substitute blended learning. So whatever in the previous slide, you have some percentage, how we could still push certain face-to-face activities to online, and that would substitute your contact time with students. And the advantage of this substitute blended learning would be, like if you are attending a conference, this is just one scenario I'm giving. You're attending a conference for 5 days and you have teaching and learning activities. You could replace your actual teaching and learning with substitute blended learning activities. So this is one of the benefit I just shared. Okay. Now, the difference between blended learning and hybrid, blended learning is actually a replacement of physical or online learning. And in hybrid, where we have flexibility, I think someone just mentioned in the poll also, flexibility of students if they want to attend face-to-face on campus, or they would like to attend from home. Like we have now during COVID, we were fully working from home. So now we have one day in a week we can pick, we can work from home. So tomorrow I will be working from home, okay? Because it's already early in the morning. So similarly, we give this flexibility to students to pick their space. They want to come on campus or they want to log in, then we need to prepare the infrastructure, and it's mostly synchronous activities, okay? So hope is clear, right? So let's move on. Key components of blended learning, and this slide is made with Gamma. Gamma is actually AI-enabled content designer or developer, okay? So normally, whenever I design my slides, I do ask Gamma, and I just compare anything I miss out. So this was the slide which I miss out, so I just copied it, okay? So key components of blended learning, online content. So that's very important. So you should have. Now, what ratio, it's all depend on your country or your infrastructures you have. If you have a proper e-learning department, then that department could assist you in converting your existing material to fully asynchronous online content. And then engagement comes in. So where you need to make sure that variety of activities should be incorporated to engage participants or audience. Okay, thanks, Ahmed, for clapping. So I don't know for what purpose you clap, but thanks. So this is how you could actually chat in online webinar. It's very important for engaging audience or our learners. And this is how you could blend between uh, different types of activities. And then integration of offline, online, in-person, off-campus, or in-campus activities. So in Singapore, they have successfully did for primary school and secondary school. They have given devices and they got consent and, like all papers signed by the students and the parents. The students will bring back those devices. So whatever activities they will be doing at home, that would be synced when they will go next day in the school. So this is how seamlessly they integrate informal or whatever activities students will be doing using that device in home or at home and in the school. So this is how the integration is very important. Okay, let's move on. Facilitation in 21st century. So last time or currently we are very much into who is our classmate, who is our cohort. Okay, so now we are more on, I just use Facebook, okay? I have to disclaimer here, I'm not getting any question from Facebook. Facebook is just for social media, okay? So any social media. Now look how we are learning. This would be my 16th session for this year. I will be actually doing, like awkward time, but that's how we learn, because of this social media, I would say, because of this web conferencing tools. Last time what we used, I'm still using PowerPoint, but some of our open educational resources are getting very powerful. And previous slide, I actually got it from AI enable. Then when there was last time fixed schedule, timetable, now we are giving flexibility, most of our lectures now are recorded in my international medical university. So if anyone due to medical reason or due to any reason could not make it, they could go and watch the recording. So now time is not as fixed as in the past. So last time was very much focused on degrees, and I was telling you when I was showing that diagram, now people wants to come with upskilling for knowledge. Okay, and even certain CPD points, maybe you will be earning after completing this webinar. So this is how you focus is changing. The value of degree, there was one conference I attended, our senior ministers from Ministry of Education and technical or vocational, ministry, they were saying now a lot of students after primary, secondary, they will be focusing more on micro credentials or short courses. So this is how things are changing. Last time was where we do this facilitation mostly in universities. Now I think most everywhere we are doing that. Last time was alone, like how we do. Now you see these slides, whichever I prepared, I have shared with my Facebook groups, and I asked them, can you please comment, and we could incorporate multimedia also, like video and all that. Okay, hope everything is clear. Can everybody say yes in the chat? Just say yes, yes. If everything clear, if not clear, just ask. Yes, yes. Okay, that's great. Alhamdulillah. Thanks, thanks. Okay, that's good. So you're all here. Good, good. So now, formal definition of blended learning is simply the mixture of different forms of education or training for single purpose. Okay. So one objective we want to achieve, or outcomes, different types of forms. Okay. Thanks for the feedback. Right. So blend can constitute any mixture, like face-to-face virtual classroom or standalone e-learning content, like reusable learning object. You can design that. They can watch while driving, even, like podcasts. Okay. Or while waiting for appointment, or whenever they have a time, it's a short nugget for learning. They can watch. Okay. Less. Moving on, slightly different definition, okay, which Prof. Razan also agreed. He's a professor for technogogy, not technology, technogogy, and ODL. So what he said, we can blend not only the delivery mode, but even the material, like website, books, email, forums, or blend maybe mixture of strategies like constructivist, behavioral, informational, cognitive, or any other theory you want to mix and apply while delivering this content. Okay. Now, this part, I like this slide, and most of my workshops I shared this. Most of the time we think of high tech and low tech, and we forget our poor learners. They don't have even any, they can't afford, so this is where we need to come up with addressing all spectrum, and this was discussed by UNESCO Director General. So whenever now we plan, we should include maybe one very few students who have no tech, or they may have technology which is not supporting high bandwidth or high uh, technologies, so we need to address that no tech also. Now, how many of you could recall this picture? I could see a lot of Dr. Shazia smiling. Yeah, okay. Yes. So, yeah. So this is actually a very good example of blended material, where we have text book with the author will record, and you could hear the recording of authors, or audio. And lately they replaced with CD, and now there is a QR code. You scan that QR code, you will have all material available on a website in a digital form. So this is how we will have hard copy, and we will have online material. Now, how many of you can recall this image and guess, just put the year, which year these images are? 1980s, 70s, 90s, 2000. Okay, good. Yeah, somewhere there. Yeah, so if you look at this bottom monitor, very old monitors, right? And these images, they indigenously developed web conferencing tools. And they are actually incorporating these cameras with IP, maybe with switches or routers. And then they are using projectors to project screen. 1900. Okay, yeah. But thanks to Zoom and thanks to web conferencing tools, with one click, we can connect. Okay, so let's play one video. It's a bit long, but it's still very useful. So just try to listen. A lot of good, although it's in a primary school or secondary school, but a lot of good ideas shared. And maybe in the chat, you can mention anything you are implementing.
If a teacher is using something that works really well in a face-to-face situation, they should continue to do that because it works well. If they can find something else that works better, is more efficient or more effective that's digital, then that would be implemented.
What I have online could be completely different than what the biology teacher has online or what the physical education teacher has online. It just depends what you need those kids to have in order to understand what they need to learn.
Okay, go ahead and get the laptops. And actually, anybody that's in the small group, come over here. I need you to get an iPad.
Why I wanted to go to a more blended environment was so that I could figure out a way to differentiate instruction within the biology classroom. And I wanted a way to be able to work with students in small groups while other students are still engaged in content learning.
There's 3 activities. One's a sorting sentence activity, one is an online interactivity, and one is small group that's going to be working with me. Okay, slide to the apps and open up EduCreations. We're going to fill in this chart because this is going to get us practicing base pairing between DNA, RNA, and reading our codon chart.
Okay, so what goes with G?
C. So I'm going to put G and C together like this, right?
I've probably learned more today just by doing this than I have the whole week that we've been doing this.
We looked at the research about blended learning, we defined it, and then we had to figure out what would it look like in my class. And so that's when I went, well, I actually want to use it more as a tool for the kids for like supplemental materials.
Top or the bottom of the cylinder.
There's always practice problems, or you can go listen to somebody talk about the topic. But the kids started to say that we don't want to listen to somebody else, we want to listen to you. And we need your help. And we want to hear your voice. So I started to go, okay, well, how can I do that? And so our technology person said, have you seen this app on the iPad? And me, not knowing anything about technology, went, I have no idea what you're talking about. Teach me. So we went through a process of me learning how to use the Show Me app. And then I started making podcasts, and it gives me a chance to be in their homes, wherever they are, 24/7. It's virtual Weller is what we call it.
And that will correspond to 6 to 9, like it has in the rest of the problems.
The podcast helps so much. It's as if she's actually there, and she just goes through it again, and you can finally understand it.
I see them, they'll plug in, I look over and they have it on their phones, they have it on their tablets, they have it on computers. They do podcasts for me during class time. I will have specific problems I want to see, just like, do they understand the basics of what we talked about today?
40, 60 plus.
Part of teaching, it's not all online. A lot of the face-to-face stuff is still the most important thing to me. The online tools are there to help make understanding even better, even more rich of an experience for the kids.
We really wanted the focus to be on the teaching and learning part and on the digital tool as a secondary thing.
Kids don't always get it the first time, or the second time, or the third time, and this allows different ways for those kids to get it. The pass rate for my kids the first year was 75%, and the second year was 93%. The state average is somewhere around 60%, so something's working for these kids.
Okay, so how many of you could identify similar things in this video and your institution also have? Could you just name in the chat? Let's see. Did you notice that there were multiple whiteboards? Okay. Normally where I studied, it was in Hoover, where I studied, only one blackboard initially, and then they changed it to whiteboard in front only. And sitting arrangement, look at how flexible they were, okay? And looking at the way they arrange, they were very, very personalized learning. Yes, we are using in our small group. Oh, that's good, yes. That's nice to hear that, yeah. So small group, and then what that group need is not always online. It's not always technology, because in certain part of this video, they were saying if you're face-to-face or whatever you're doing, it works. Don't just for sake of using technology, incorporate in technology and then you will struggle, you will face more different challenges. Okay, now they were saying some apps, just to repeat, Nearpod you could use for iOS and even for Android. Show Me is the app, very good app where you could annotate and all that, and you could even come up with the podcast. And one more thing they notice, and I could see also, although I use this video also, so hopefully for webinar workshop, okay, but in class, they would prefer to hear from you. They don't want YouTube videos. They don't want people other than you to explain. So what I would suggest, if you have a very good content, use that, but at the end you add in the summary or brief or contextualize those resources according to your curriculum or your school or institutions or your learners. Okay, anything else? Yes, anything which like excites you in this video, maybe use in chat. You can give 20 seconds and then we move on. So what I always ask my faculty or colleagues at IMU, like in schools, if they are exposed to this kind of technology, so in university we should have even higher level, So we should be actually, rather than making them bored with traditional, interaction through devices like laptops and iPad. Yeah, this is very important, and that's what I would always use this term, seamless integration. Okay, like how we could integrate whatever they are doing on the iPad, and then they move on to the notebook or laptop, or they will move on to do something physically, like paper and pencil. So all this need to be seamlessly integrated somehow. Okay, what is Show Me app? Okay, it actually gives you power to annotate, sketch on top of anything. There was Explain Everything also, one app, very powerful, very simple, but I always recommend all Apple users to subscribe to that. Yeah. Teacher admitted lack of knowledge about app. Yeah, for sure. That's where our e-learning or IT department should come in and assist. And these kind of, thanks to this society, who arranges this kind of webinars, maybe we can convert it into workshops for 3 hours, and then I can dive into one or few apps, ask you to use these apps. So yeah, you're right. We need to learn this app or technology, right? Please share link to this. Okay, so I will be sharing. Okay, maybe at the end or later stage. So let's move on. And what are the key questions before even you implement blended learning, right? First one, what program in your organization or institutions are best suited for blended learning? Not everything you need to convert to blended learning. Okay, what modules most appropriate for your institutions? So it all depends on resources availability. Like just now, one of our colleague was saying, like it's difficult to learn about new tools or technology. Sometimes there is no training available in the institution, so you have to identify. There will be certain faculty in a school, they are more IT savvy, so let's start with those. What support mechanism? This is what I was just now briefing, explaining about. You need a proper support from IT or e-learning department for faculty, for students. Then how can blended learning become an effective mechanism? So maybe it happens like before, whatever you were doing was effective, and suddenly it's a wave, like everybody's doing, let's do it, without properly doing the readiness test, checking the need analysis. So what will work for you, you need to do, are we ready? Okay, so this is where you need to check, test before you convert or implement blended learning. How will you assess the impact? So there must be some research also should be there whenever you are incorporating new technology or even changing some delivery methods or mode. There must be some data analysis or capturing, and then check what works well. In this blended learning, what is actually more impactful than increase that content or that mode or that activity? Okay, so these questions you need to ask yourself before doing that. Okay, now let's move on to very quickly what kind of challenges you are facing No need to name, it's anonymous, so you can say anything, okay? I won't be reporting to your deans or your management. It's just I may have some solutions, So let's see. Training about use of tech, okay, yeah. So let me share with you, like YouTube is very good, readiness of culture, wow, very good. This is where I always, like I'm a consultant for several institutions, so I always ask, money will not, guarantee success, or top-notch technology will not guarantee a success, your mindset. So even you have very secure, security apparatus and hardware and algorithm, and you are putting the key next to your lock. So no point, motivation, yes. This is a challenge, like how we could do scalability and sustainability, So this is where senior management or decision makers should address this. Fear of IT apps. Get rid of this fear, use the free version first. And yes, technology can fail anytime. We should not fail, okay? And I actually removed that slide. I said technology will never replace us, but someone who uses or knows this technology will replace us faster. So we need to overcome this. Can you believe that I got stage fear? Can you believe this? I've been talking for like 30 minutes nonstop, right? So the largest crowd was 300 plus participants, and I was delivering. So it's practice. It's yeah. You may have fear during COVID time. Some of our senior professors, with all due respects, they resigned. They said this is not our forte because you are moving online, But some of these professors, they they continued. And then we assign e-learning staff to like four or five professors, one e-learning staff dedicated. Anytime they can WhatsApp, they can, whenever. So we need to scaffold whenever you got this. Yes, cost. Initially, you have to spend cost, but in long run, it could save a lot of costs. Okay. So good. Thanks for sharing all these challenges. And back to your own ground, like you have to discuss with the decision makers, because sometimes it's not always ideal situation, Internet, yeah, of course. Even in Malaysia, we face these challenges, Certain provinces, the bandwidth is not that high, or so a lot of applications may not work. Student attendance, I think we need to motivate. We need to, like, I still remember the interesting lecturers. I will never miss their lectures. So I think it's us. We have to make our topics or modules interesting, so they should actually come in. Okay. I was in Jeddah, King Abdulaziz University, and just to tell you one practical experience, I was facing this attendance problem. So what I did, I got permission from Dean, and I said, give me 5% of weightage for anything I can plan. So and thanks to Dean, he allowed me. And what I did, I gamified. I was using Moodle. I create random. Whenever I could see, like, students are down, they don't want to, study, or there were less students. So I will actually ask them, okay, let's do a quiz. And they need to come up with 15 quizzes, and I will pick best 5 quiz and give 5% weightage. So by randomizing it, they have interest. I was surprised, like they were more serious for these mock quizzes than actual exam, So there are many ways. So you have to actually practice and don't give up. Maybe something works for one cohort, you need to change. Other cohort are completely different. So you need to find what excites them, So I was teaching computer related subjects, so they were very much keen into hacking, So I will teach them something, and then move on to curriculum. Okay, so key elements for blended learning landscape. First is readiness. So you need to check, are we faculty ready? Are students ready? Are our institutions ready? or not. So for digital transformation also, we do this readiness test. We need a proper platform when we are talking about blended learning, because I am telling you many times about seamless integration. So you need a platform, you need a learning management system. Content is very important, okay, to engage, because when you're doing asynchronous activities, content is very important. So spend some time in designing appropriate content. Learner and faculty, so that's where trainings come in, and I think you have also highlighted that we need support and guidance, and management should be on board. So they should know what kind of challenges we are facing when we are going to implement blended learning. So all these five elements should be actually addressed before implementing. Now here, finding the correct blend. So you can start from one extreme. Left side, you have offline content. You can have online, okay? You can have asynchronous or synchronous. So now all depend on your module. If it's more skill-based, then I would say better make it offline more and synchronous more. And if you are to choose between text and multimedia, I would suggest multimedia. So all depends on what outcome you want to achieve. And then I give example like radio. No? So nowadays we have all digital radio. I remember when I was in Jubail, we have I used to listen to news, and my father bought Russian radio. Got 3, 4, 5 tuning knobs. First one will reach to some level, the other one will adjust, fine tune. Same way we have to design our learning experiences also. Fine tune it, it may works for one cohort, may not work. So adjust it again. So these are the, extremes. You can add in more, So here last point is like guided. LMS will guide the learner what to do. Everything is structured. They have to finish within that week, or make it self-paced, very, very personalized, okay? So using LMS, learning management system, I think most of learning management system have these kind of features which enables very, very personalized courses, even having their own learning paths, Okay, so I like this infographic, I would say, is from University of Pahang, University Malaysia Pahang, one of the state in Malaysia. So they go dive in, but one thing again missing is no, low is there, but no internet. How you're going to address that, okay? So here they have even list down the applications. So if you have a low bandwidth, what you can do. And if you notice here, with high bandwidth only, you can do this kind of live web conferencing or even running simulations, So be careful in that, like every institutions, we should come up with this chart or this infographic, very helpful for faculty, and they can know what to use, what kind of actions can be done when we have low bandwidth or high bandwidth, okay? Now, this is a framework which I love it. It's actually evolved, created by Prof. Rozan Idrus. So whenever you type this technogogy, it will auto-convert to technology. It's actually merger of your technology and pedagogy with your content. And we are focused very much learner focused. And this is actually a 3D. I don't have time, otherwise I demonstrate. It's like a 3D, and every learner in that 3D box have a different value for all these parameters. So if we could profile our learners or cohorts, then you know whether you need to go more technology savvy content, or you need to go focus more on pedagogy, or what type of content or what type of learning styles. Maybe some school of thought that disagree with learning styles. I would say like every learner have multiple learning styles. Sometimes certain things you learn better in a certain style. So if we could have that profile of learners, then we can plan how to nicely blend, okay, between all these parameters. Full frameworks, and he have successfully implemented for more than 3 or 4 national universities. So if anyone interested, I can actually give you the templates which you can fill up. Start with designing, identifying which activity you need to move to more technology or online, and which activities you can still do as you're doing normally using this framework, okay? Or you can Google it, Technogogy, Prof. Rozan Idrus, you will get all publications there. Okay, sure. Now, I think very famous ID instructional design principles or models we use is actually Gagné's 9 events of instruction. So you can use this, or you can blend these 2-3 ID models, So no need to use each and every 9 steps or stages. You can actually move on, use the first 4 from Gagné's, and you can merge from other models to suit your requirement or needs, okay? Now, this is another format of Gagné's 9 events. You start with introduction, gain attention, state learning outcomes, recall prior knowledge. Then comes content, assessment, and at the end, summary, how we can apply whatever we learn. So if you can do this, apply this, and design content, that will be very helpful, for asynchronous or even synchronous, right?
In this slide, I am
Okay, so you can hear this, the
in this
voiceover.
slide, I am sharing Bloom's digital taxonomy, where I have mapped at different levels of Bloom's taxonomy, different digital tools.
Can you hear my voice
And
there? That's the
if you
recording
want to
voice.
know more detail,
Okay.
you could actually scan this QR code and you could access my blog post on Bloom's digital taxonomy and how we could apply these tools at different levels.
This is the latest version. I actually started this in 2014, So now we are keep on adding. If you notice here, Beyond is a very latest animated tools, and they have incorporated AI. Again, there is a free version, but you need to pay for subscribe version, and you could just put a prompt and it could create animated scenarios. Like in medical education, for example, people with anxiety or stress or depression, you can't actually bring in camera and record them. So we use animated scenarios for our learners. This is another model we call Uber University. Uber concept, where Uber don't have any car, like they are just using public car, people's car. And this is where we start with buffet style. We have learning designer, we have learners at the side. Once we use Gagné's 9 events of instruction, all the content need to be validated by senior or subject matter experts or senior faculty. Once they approve, then we can tag these and let learner pick up buffet style, or they can mix up from different, types of content from different institutions, and then it will merge with 1 degree. Now, these are the learning blocks. So
okay, let's
very
explore
quickly,
learning blocks, and
introduction.
we could reuse these blocks or copy paste the structure of these blocks in our micro-credential courses. So first block could be introducing your topic of micro-credential and share some of
the
most common and most important types of challenges
then example
or
and
problems,
practice. Okay.
and then share some examples and some further examples and let learner practice these concepts.
And then there must be assessment
so our second
and
block
practice.
Could be sharing,
and at the end must be
second
reporting
most
and
common
record
types
keeping.
of
Okay.
challenges.
So now here I'm diving in video-based content, because most of us, our learner, this is a study also in research, they learn faster, like by having this video-based content, okay? You can start with the simple basic interaction where we have voiceover using PowerPoint. We can use screen capture, we can have live cast, like just now what we are doing, because I can see, you can engage with facilitators, you can ask your questions. Then you can have interactive video using H5P, I think still free and tool. You can go for h5p.org and you can explore a lot of templates there, and then incorporate 3D elements. And if you really want to have interactive and immersive learning experiences, you can use mixed reality, virtual reality, or augmented reality. These are few different tools which you can use. Beyond, I already explained, Blender is for 3D and Sketchfab for 3D models. A lot of models will be free. You can download, and if you are well familiarized with Unity, you can even add in interactions, or even H5P. This platform, you can have templates, so you can incorporate those videos or 3D models and add in labels on them. So this is where you could come up with more interesting, rather than just using slides, Canva, I think everybody knows that. So I'm moving on to the tools now, okay? Canva already incorporated AI enabled, so you can give the prompt and they can design for you. Camtasia, I think way back when I was in Saudi, I used to use this, and even in current institution, we have that. But we are now moving, like even PowerPoint also have a lot of features like Camtasia, okay? Now, another graphic designing or video editing tool, okay? I would say DaVinci Resolve. It's a free tool. You can scan this QR code, you can download. This is a bit advanced. If you want a simpler version, shortcut. For my 16 years old daughter, I gave her and I say, you have 1 week, and now she's actually producing videos on YouTube. Yes, both of these tools are free. DaVinci Resolve and Shortcut. H5P is also, Canva is also free version. There's available. H5P is also free. Okay. Shortcut, very powerful, very simple for video editing and putting labels and all that. You can actually design content. Let's move on, sharing some of the case studies, the success stories. This slide is designed by Gamma, okay? We got in 2017 by Ministry of Education in Malaysia, given us a chance to convert our 30% of courses to ODL. So we have certain courses were very traditional. Certain courses were, I would say, blended mode. 30% online, 70% still face-to-face. And these courses we have converted to fully ODL, open and distance learning. So this is one of the success story, and now we are moving to maybe 10th program, converting from traditional to open and distance. And if you scan this, just click join in as a guest. There will be free trial short courses for different programs you can try and explore. Now, here we got the scenario. During COVID, everything was locked down. We can't, our students can't even clear patients. We can't, our students were not allowed even to go inside hospital. So bedside teaching, very difficult, right? What to do? So one of the clinician, ENT surgeon, Prof. Shahid, he contacted me and I said, okay, let's do something. And we converted online bedside teaching, okay? By using, if you just spend some time and try to read how many models we use Gibbs, reflective practice, we use, I think this is inquiry-based learning best implemented. We use Gagne's 9 event of instruction, 9 events of instructions. We use hypothetical, deductive, and think aloud approach for differential diagnosis. And we have successfully converted. Luckily, this Professor Shahid, he was surgeon, now he's not practicing, but he was having a lot of videos of his surgery. And we use those videos and convert scenarios into an interactive bedside teaching. And after we implemented this, now COVID is over, students still wants to do. And if you want to access, we have published a paper. You can scan this or just type in bedside teaching, Hasnan Zafar, you could see. I'm actually co-author also with Prof. Shahid. So you can search this, all details we have shared, and we have now come up with more than 6 different bedside teaching scenarios using this model, okay? Now, the question is now, we are back, no more COVID, but are we, what kind of strategies we need to implement now? So this is a bit challenging, like whether we will go back where we were, or we'll, whatever we learn, like best practices during COVID, we could actually, implement them. Okay, yeah. So this is where a challenge, even in IMU, senior management asked us to go back, but then we negotiate, like, no, there are certain things which we can still do online, okay? And even students like prefer to be in hybrid or high flex mode, okay? Let's move on. What's our role? I don't prefer to call us as teacher, more facilitator, right? We should do dynamic grouping, like an intervener. Whenever there is a need, we should be there. And we should be specialist of certain thing. And we need to change our content, we need to upskill, and we need to change our mindset. So technology won't replace us. Oh, the slide is here. You see, I was telling you that I thought I removed this. So, but teachers or facilitators who use technology will probably replace us very fast, okay? Now, in summary, what we covered, I started with introduction, then just coin in different terms, then shared some applications, and now I'm ready for any question. Oh yeah, this is a chapter we published, I think, in 2015. This is a book, and it highlights Malaysian higher education institutions case studies on blended learning. Okay, so you can scan this QR code, and it's free downloadable. You can access that. Hopefully, it's accessible there, right? And if you want to access my chapter, is chapter number 15, where we flip large classrooms, like 300 plus classrooms, we flip it. We use, at that time, poll everywhere, and things like that. And we build iLecture, we call interactive lectures. So before face-to-face sessions, the students must go and watch all that material, self-instructed material, same. And then during face-to-face, we apply all those, like by asking them questions and discussion and all that. Right? This is my YouTube channel, and this is all my blog and all that. Normally, I'm not that active nowadays, being in management, but soon, I think at the year end, I always write one post that would be summarizing all what I have achieved during the year. And these slides will be available on my SlideShare. This is my Twitter handler. I think let's back to Dr. Shazia.
Yeah.
I'm ready for question answer.
Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. I would say that very much insightful and very much exciting, especially when you introduced us about how to blend and different kind of tools you introduced. It's really very much useful. So I would like the participants that if they have any question, the best is that you can raise your hand or just open up your mic and can ask questions. Any comments, please feel free to write in chat box. Any questions? All right. My question is that if you just allow me to get some participant who want question, different institutions, they are preferring a different kind of learning management systems for sharing contents with students, like Moodle is commonly used, as well as the institutions which are encouraging the use of Microsoft. So Teams are being used. So if I asked you among these two, without any political or financial comments, which one is the best one? Because we are really struggling at the moment, our institution, to build one platform so that students and tutors, they focus on one platform.
Yeah. If I answer simple answer, any tool, the chalk, I'm going back when we're using a chalk on a blackboard, that chalk to me is a tool if it solves our problem. So any tool which addresses your challenges is the best tool. Now, you mentioned about Microsoft Teams and different LMS. I would suggest students being in this generation, they don't like jumping from one platform to another platform. So I would suggest you to integrate them with single sign-on. And IMU, at my institution, we have successfully integrated Microsoft Teams with Moodle. And yeah, so Microsoft Teams, they are picking up. They are adding a lot of teaching and learning related activities because it was meant for business community. But now they are coming up into education. Yeah.
That's really great. So a lot of appreciation is there in chat box. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you a lot. Any questions from participants? I would strongly encourage you to ask questions, otherwise I'll keep on asking. I'm sorry. I'm very much interested in use of AI tools. So In your experience, which tools you will suggest us if we want to develop a course? For instance, I want to build a course or mini course, maybe 4 weeks course, credential course. So which app you will recommend which can help me to quickly build my course?
Wow. Not one app. I would suggest multiple apps, First, for lesson planning, you can start with ChatGPT or, generative AI, large language models, and then you could get the lesson plan fixed first, what kind of activities and all that. And after that, you could use Gamma even for individual slides, But if you're going into video-based content and animation, then beyond, so you need to use multiple tools, not one tool which will fix, everything. As a beginner, what you suggest to improve AI skills? Just attend webinars and, learn, pick few tools. I think let me share one tool if you allow me. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Or you asked actually before one question, so let me
Yes,
put
please
you.
share those tools, especially AI tools which are free and medical educators can use to create their lesson plan or even blended learning modules. For instance, you
Yeah,
mentioned that there are tools which can help to make presentation, as you mentioned. So is it
yeah,
free to download? Because most of these apps are they after one or two presentation they start asking for money.
yeah,
So tell
sure,
us, pick us something which is free.
sure. So let me share with you this website. This should be your referral.
All
So
right.
Prof. Jane Hart always every year did evaluation. You can take part also. I last time also submit my top 10 tools. So when you click on this, you see they have different tools. Sorry. So you can search. It will show the list of tools you have, and you make sure the top 10 tools you are familiar with. Okay. This is about general tools. Now you're talking about AI, right?
Yep.
So just give me a minute to fetch that slide and I can. Okay, just give me a second and I can show you now. So this is the tool I use, imagine.art, generating graphics. Okay, imagine.art. And then I should jump in. Yes. So hopefully you can see the slides, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So just scan this QR code and what I will get benefit, I will get like 300 points for every registered participant using this link. And this is a Gamma, and I use few slides created by Gamma. So what you could do, you can even upload a paper and this Gamma can generate slides from that paper. Okay.
All right. So
Then this is free.
this app we can download on mobiles as well,
No,
or
it's a web based. It's a
all
web
right,
based.
web-based. All right.
It's a web based, yeah. And
Another thing is that these days AI is really helping us to generate videos according to the content which you are providing. So they are also
yeah,
mostly, like I started using in video and it says after 4 or 5 videos, now please keep quiet for 1 week that you have used audio
yeah.
already. So
Okay.
what do you think that is there anything free for people who are really crazy to make videos?
Yes. See, for Gamma, they are incorporating video based also, and for latest Google Bar, you can do video based content also. But you need to apply first. They will put you in waiting list, and then they will allow you. So another tool I would share, Roshi.ai, very powerful tool. Um, you just need to upload a video or a PDF and it will convert it into a lesson plan with knowledge checks and amazing. This is one of my video behind. You could actually scan this QR code. You will go to roshi.ai. So I use my 5 minutes video, and everything, whatever I said in that 5 minutes, it picks up, and it can generate the glossary also, like all the keywords, and amazing. Okay.
That's really amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes, this is
So,
what I was telling you about Imagine.art, which generates graphics. Yes.
all right. There is one question by Dr. Ali Shalan. How
Yeah.
do you adapt blended learning strategies to cater to different learning styles within same educational environment?
Different learning style. Okay. You need to go step by step. Okay. First of all, you need to know what are your learners' need, how IT savvy they are, and then give them flexibility. Either your facilitators in the video, they have showed certain students, they know the basics. They no need to go to slides or basic content. They should straight away go to application of knowledge. So then it keeps them excited. But what we are doing in majority of institutions, we treat everybody equally. So that's where pre-test and post-test will guide us. We have in our LMS also, like if you pass certain number of quizzes or knowledge checks, you are allowed to jump from one topic to higher, different topics. So we give that flexibility. But for others who fail those knowledge checks, we make that component compulsory. They must clear first. So we need to adjust ourselves and go slowly. You can't do it overnight. You have to actually gradually move things to asynchronous, online, check the impact, and if it works, then gradually add on. Hope I answer your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. So far, I think we have taken up all questions, and this is towards the end of this webinar. Any participants, if they have any comments or question, please feel free. This is the last chance to ask any question. Otherwise, it was wonderful presentation, and we are really very much delighted to have you at Saudi Society for Medical Education. And hopefully in future with your experiences, we would like to learn more about different kind of tools being used in blended learning. And I would like to say thank you so much, and thank you to all participants, and have a great rest of night. Thank you so much.
Thanks for giving this opportunity. And
Sure.
I also enjoyed a lot. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Allah
Bye.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.